Extra virgin olive oil in the Latium region is a very important commodity since the Roman times. The Romans were very good producers, exporters and consumers of extra virgin olive oil, and the production was so important. The extra virgin olive oil was in fact a commodity, and the price was quoted every week in the Roman Forum. The sensory evaluation of the extra virgin olive oil is very important. In actual fact, likewise wine, the extra virgin olive oil has to go through the organoleptic assessment before receiving the certification. Professionally, we use a blue glass because in the past there was a common belief that the color of the oil was very important. So the greener the oil, the better. This is not true because the color of the oil depends on the olives that you use, the altitude, the rain, if it has been a dry or a wet season. So there are different climatic and olive cultivar that we have to take into consideration when we speak about color. And this is the reason why we normally use blue glasses. We start pouring the olive oil into the glass. In this step, we say that we don't have to look at the color, so we will only assess the fluidity of the olive oil. Second step is to sniff the oil. So we take the glass and we get it close to the nose. Before actually sniffing the oil, we have to warm it up a little bit. So we take it to one end and we start warming it up. We have to make sure that we cover the top of the glass, because in this case we avoid the evaporation of the volatile substances, which is the ones that tell us all the sensations of this olive oil. After warming, we sniff the oil. So the first thing that we have to evaluate is the fruitiness. The classification of olive oil is based on fruitiness. We have light, medium and intense. These are the three intensities that we can have. So smelling the oil is very important because it tells us all the positive odors that we can find. For example, we can have grass, we can have artichokes, we can have almonds or other fruits and vegetables that obviously are not contained in the olive oil, but the substances that are characteristic of those products can be found in the olive oil. But also the smelling is important to see if there are any defects of the oil. If we process the olive incorrectly or if we store the oil incorrectly, we can have some problems, and these problems are carried out and brought after in the bottling. So when we open the bottle, we can find some problem. For example, we can have rancidity, or we can find musty sediment, or we can have, for example, molds. So there are several defects that normally can be associated to bad processing of the olives. The smelling, we take the glass next to the mouth and we take in a little bit of quantity of olive oil. We don't have to take big quantities, just a little bit on the tip of the tongue. Then we have to do this operation, which is called technically stripping the oil, because when we move the oil inside the mouth, we release more volatile substances, and so these give us all the aromas of the oil. Also important to evaluate when we put the olive oil in the mouth is the pungency of the oil. Pungency is a positive characteristics and relates mainly to the time of picking of the olive. So the earlier I harvest the olives, the more pungency I have. So pungency tends to fade also with time. Alongside pungency, we also have to evaluate the bitterness of the oil. Here again, this bitterness depends on the antioxidant substances that are contained naturally in the olive oil, which are polyphenols and tocopherols. So the earlier I pick the olives, the more antioxidants I have, and so more bitter tends to be the oil. Sensory analysis has been used to evaluate every single product of the project. The product that you find is a card containing a description of every single product, and there's also a graphic representation of the evaluation of the organoleptic properties that we have found during the tasting. This is called also spiral web. On the reverse of the card, we introduce all the information on the companies and a brief description of each company.